I want to say I've been with ACN now for over 9 years with my partner, George Zalicki, and I have never been more excited for this opportunity for you and for your contacts, your family and friends who are looking to improve their lives. This is really a unique time in the ACN business. And I want to start out by thanking the co-founders who are creating this opportunity. They're reinventing the business on a regular basis, investing millions and millions of euros to create infrastructure so that we'll have a unique place in the market as we market VoIP. So you probably really don't have a complete picture yet of what you have in your hands with ACN. But in the short time I have with you today, I want to take your vision from this and open your eyes so you see this. See, because you have to see the opportunity to take advantage of it. You have to understand the timing. You know, it's interesting. You know, we all have a different background. We come from different cities, different countries. We have a different story before ACN, and you can have a different story after ACN. But really, all we really want is the same things. We want a better life for our family. We want to have more freedom to choose how to live our lives every day, how to spend our hours on this planet. We want to feel good. That's what we really want to do. And obviously, financially, there are obligations in life. So we need to meet our financial obligations to free our mind, free our hearts, to be able to accomplish other things that are even more important than learning how to pay the rent, how to pay the car payment, how to pay the phone bill. Right? So that's why all of us really are here in ACN today, because we saw an option, an opportunity, where if we take advantage of the timing of this business, we can change our financial futures forever. George Zalicki and I started with ACN over 9 years ago. There were no offices in Europe. There was no operations starting. The company was planning to put all this money in Europe. I walked through the first office building in the Netherlands. There was not even a drop ceiling. There was just wires hanging down, no carpets. It was a 3,000 square meter office, so I knew they were serious. And obviously, now 9 years later, we have an office building in Amsterdam that's 3 times larger, almost 9,000 square meters. The company's expanded to 15 European countries. We've expanded into Australia, New Zealand, and now ACN is going through another major transformation, an evolution of the opportunity. See, we began in Europe following a model that was successful in the US and Canada. Deregulation was occurring, as we all know, we've heard the story, and as a result of the former monopolies having to allow competition, ACN was able to come in with this home-based business model where we could earn not only a one-time commission, but a commission month after month for using services, and we simply talked to our friends and family about trying these services. ACN started to add other products. In some countries, we've added a mobile program or some internet or some different products around the world. So the evolution of the business is a natural thing that you're going to experience the longer you're with ACN. See, George and I have been in this industry before. We'd been successful in network marketing at a very high level. We knew how to evaluate the business beyond a marketing plan, beyond a product. And when we met the co-founders and understood the concept of what they were putting in place, we applied it to our knowledge of direct selling. We applied it to our knowledge of being at the right place at the right time. And we saw something amazing. As ACN eventually got into the mobile business in Europe, in America, they took a different approach. We started operating what's called agent program. We contracted with all the major suppliers so ACN reps could represent every major brand name in mobile in the US. And we just did the same thing down in France just recently. And we're planning to launch country after country this year, as Mike Kupas was telling you about. And that's a very exciting program because we can do what we do best. Simply share the idea of try a service. It's the same pricing you used to. It's the same, the deals that they're offering, we can offer you. Just do business with a friend, right? That's our marketing advantage, is relationship marketing. We're great at it. That's how we've accomplished millions of customers who've been acquired by ACN over the years that ACN's been in business. No real advertising, no real marketing, but us doing the word-of-mouth marketing. And see, deregulation was a great place for ACN to begin. But let me tell you, VoIP and VoIP video is a bigger opportunity than anything we've done to date. We all know there's a digital revolution happening. Everything is shifting from analog to digital. In fact, I want to show you some marketing information. There's a graph that's well known in business called a bell curve. And simply on a bell curve, it shows a life cycle of products. As you already know in life, nothing goes from here straight to the top. Everything is kind of up and down, right? There's cycles in our business, you know, in the marketplace, in our relationships. There's always cycles, right? Well, in business, when you analyze products, you got to realize that at the front end of the bell curve is when a product is introduced. It's when a product is new. And generally, this is the best place for profit, and it's the best place for direct selling, face-to-face marketing. That's always the best. For example, the first fax machine. You remember the first fax machine? Who would buy it? You'd be saying, this is great, but who am I going to fax? You better buy two. That's when the price was the highest, there was the most profit, but eventually businesses all needed one. It reached acceptance. As it became accepted, competition was created in the market, and as more and more competition came in, there were new features, new trends, new technologies, and the price was lowered. It's called price elasticity. The more competition in the market, you'll drive the price of the product down. That's especially true in technology products, right? Everything gets cheaper the longer the technology's out. Then new technology replaces the old technology. No one is buying a standalone fax machine anymore. So it's really interesting to understand how there's a change in the trends today. So even music has gone from analog to digital. They're downloading all the music, cameras, video equipment. And telecom, the transformation to digital represents the biggest income opportunity that we will ever see in the history of our ACN business careers. Do you really even understand what I'm talking about? The statistics show we're over 30 million VoIP users now, doubled from last year. Europe's one of the fastest growing markets for VoIP communication. And ACN owns its own network. They've invested millions to own the soft switches that control all the features, allow us to do the billing, allow us to do special pricing. In fact, if you've ever talked to someone about ACN yesterday, then they don't know about ACN, because ACN of today and tomorrow is not the same business. Do you understand that? You know, just like the ACN to ACN calling plans within each country, which is a huge selling point. Everybody on the same network, 0 cost per minute to call between each other. Well, the same opportunity could be expanded between countries in Europe. How about between the US and Europe? How about a global possibility when we're all on the same VoIP network? So when I analyze ACN's VoIP and video phone, I got to tell you from personal experience, it sits there in the kitchen and people walk in and say, what is that? And it's amazing to get the reaction when you just have it in your home. In fact, it's the #1 business building tool you'll ever own. So every rep will want one because it's a business building tool. When you have someone sponsored across the country or internationally, you can now support them face-to-face with video conferencing. You can do home presentations, training for them. So it's a powerful thing. See, VoIP with video, in the beginning of a bell curve, is where the best timing is. See, ACN, unlike during deregulation, we're creating the marketplace. We're establishing the price points. So now you take direct selling, you take VoIP and video, the transition to digital from analog. You take the ACN 9 years of history in Europe, added with 15 years around the world. So the word has to be spread. So we're looking for people that want more money, more time, a career change. They're entrepreneurs, they want a new challenge. Now, every one of us fit in there somewhere, either one or more categories. So we all are looking for more. Most of you really don't understand network marketing. To me, the most exciting part of ACN is that we're a network marketing business. And I'll tell you why. See, selling and marketing products is important because without a product going to an end user, no one makes money, right? That's just the way it is. You have to have something of value to bring to a consumer, and that's what we're doing with our services and our products. But we're also in network marketing. As an independent rep, we wear two hats. And here's a great analogy you can use when you explain this to people. In one hat, it's like owning the franchise. You know, we've heard of the fast food franchise, right? You pay a fee, you start a franchise, you sell your burgers and your fries. Do you know that you make the biggest percentage of profit because it's your business? It's just like when you own an ACN distributorship. When you get personal customers, you make the most money for your personal effort. The more customers, the higher the billing, up to 10% is your commission. The same as owning a fast food hamburger store. But here's the difference. We can also wear the hat of the franchise corporation. That means we can introduce the opportunity to people just like the franchise corporation. What does the franchise corporation sell? In this example, it doesn't sell hamburgers or French fries or any of those things. They sell opportunity. A system that's proven but not guaranteed. See, it's amazing what's happened since I've been with ACN for 9 years. When George and I started, the new thing was dial-up internet in North America. They hadn't talked about anything like VoIP or VoIP video. So there's been a transformation. And, you know, if there's anything else I can make sure you understand today, is that you can do it. I mean, I know when we go around and I travel to lots of cities, lots of countries, people give us all this applause and they say, hey, you're great, you've done all this great stuff. In truth, really, we haven't done anything that amazing. We've done simple things that you can do too. No different than I did. You can do the same simple actions. And if you repeat them over and over again, no different than me or any other successful ACN rep, eventually, if you give it time, you'll succeed too. See, becoming successful really isn't the goal. It's who you become in the process of trying to achieve a worthy goal that will really shape you as a human being. See, I learned that to be successful, there's certain principles. Number one, you need to be enthusiastic. So enthusiasm is the first step, but it's got to be the right kind. Because you know what? There's no one that you could introduce me to that could convince me this doesn't work. And you would understand that. You couldn't put anybody in front of me that tells me this doesn't work. It would be insane for me to believe them. But you or your new guest, they certainly could believe that brother or friend who tells you it won't work. It's very possible, isn't it? Because why? You don't have knowledge. And without the knowledge, you're not going to be confident. So you need to know what you want, first of all. Gain knowledge of that, because the knowledge of how to do the business is pretty simple. Doing this business is easier than what you do at your job. I'm going to prove it to you, because I've been doing the same thing for almost 19 years, and it's worked every time, over and over again. You know, the real applause is not for what we do here. The applause really should be when I picked up the phone right after my brother laughed at me and I called somebody else. Somebody should have been there to say, that's it, Artie, you're going to win. Because that's the moment where you win or lose. It's true. That's the moment where you succeed or you don't see. See, it's a little step, a little thing that seems to make no difference in a moment. But if I keep those same activities, sharing an idea, sharing a service, and I keep taking those steps, just the reality of time and the function of time, if I stay true to the action, I will end up with the results. See, enthusiasm has to come from deep within. It actually is derived from two Greek words, entheos, which means God within. And what enthusiasm is an outward expression of an inner belief. And you've got to have belief not only in our opportunity, the timing like I do, but you've got to have a little belief that it's possible for you. You've got to have a little dream. Some of you have been in the business for a while, and you're kind of watching the dream through a filter, and it's not clear. Napoleon Hill, in the book Think and Grow Rich, said, "There's one quality which one must possess to win. That is a definiteness of purpose, the knowledge of what one wants, and a burning desire to get it." It's simply summarized, you got to know why you're doing this. You know, it's not because you love the telephone, I hope. I mean, it's great if you do, but the reason to do this is, what can ACN help you to achieve for you and your family and your life? And do you dare to put it in writing? And the reason I wrote it is there was a study from Yale University. 1953, they did a survey of all the graduating seniors leaving the university. And they asked them many questions. One was how many had clearly written plans for what they were going to do after college. Only 3% of these bright people had a written plan for what they were going to do after they left the university. And guess what happened 20 years later? They went back to those people and they surveyed them many questions. And the 3% reported better health, better relationships, but that wasn't easy to measure. But financially, the 3% with a written plan 20 years before had more financial net worth than the rest of the 97% as a combined group. Now, if anything, that tells me is one day you got to decide if this is what the 3% does, who have financial success, and you want some of it, why not try it? You've been probably doing what the 97% have done for a long time in your life, and what has it got you? The problem with us as adults is we put ourselves in a prison. I'm only going to be this successful. My parents never believed in me. My teacher said I wasn't going to be much. My sponsor doesn't think I'm very good. Whatever it is, you're in a box, and it's a prison you've created around your possibility. You've got to build a positive self-expectancy that you can win. And let me tell you, it's not difficult to win. Success and failure is just, the difference is so slight, you don't even notice it. And the reason you don't notice it is because you don't recognize that everything matters. Everything matters. Everything is a choice. See, time goes on, and one day we're going to be at the end of our life, the day before we die, and we're going to look back on our life, and we're going to feel pretty good about what we've done, what we've contributed or not. You shouldn't live with regrets, but we're all going to probably have a few. But the bottom line, okay, as we go through that life, is it's like a movie. It's a play. And you got a chance to write the script. And you're going to have to choose by either making conscious decisions or unconscious decisions, whether you are the extra walking by the camera once, you are the supporting actor, or you're the lead actor in a great movie. You're going to be the one who writes that script, no matter if you're an ACN or not. It's your life. And so what I've learned is, whether it's learning how to play the guitar, it's the simple action, not the lesson in 30 minutes, not the training, but it's the lesson that I take and I go home when no one's listening, and I sit there with a metronome going over routine exercises that frankly are no fun. They are not fun, but I do them over and over. And it didn't make any difference in the moment, but I did it again the next day, even 20 minutes. Next day, 20 minutes. It didn't seem to make any difference. But all of a sudden, a week goes by, and I'm doing something I couldn't do a week ago. Now, my daughter, she's only 11 years old. She's a very serious gymnast. My daughter, Ashlyn, you know, we travel around the East Coast of the United States. She's very successful at it. But I talked to her about why she's doing gymnastics at 11 years old. She studies 5 days a week at it, about 3.5 hours a day. And she's doing some phenomenal, crazy things on the balance beam, and a little bit frightening for a parent. But I talked to her about the importance of understanding what she's doing. Number one, she's got to visualize what she's doing and why. And she better love it or she shouldn't do it. That's what we talk about. Don't do it for the parents, do it for yourself. That was number one. Number two, you've got to include failing. Because you're going to be frustrated when you can't get the new move and you're going to fall off the beam. And it may even hurt. Because you know what? That's life. It's the same way in this business or your job or your relationship. Sometimes you don't do things right. But if you have a good visual of what you're trying to accomplish and you love it, you get back up and you take it as an experience to learn from, and you take another step. Then you take another step. And then eventually she overcomes the fear of what was holding her back. And she says, you know, I've done enough activities, and they teach her a little thing at a time, that all of a sudden she says, I can try it now. And then when she accomplished it, she comes home, she says, Dad, you won't believe it. I can do this kind of a move. And I couldn't do it yesterday. Yet she's been working for sometimes weeks and weeks and weeks to master the little pieces that add up to the whole move. And you know what? I can take the step towards success where I can work my way up that graph. Okay, the little steps will eventually take me to success. 20 minutes on the treadmill today will not get me to the top today. It seemed to make no difference, even painful, right? But if I do another 20 minutes and another 20 minutes, over time, all of a sudden I'm looking vibrant, I'm feeling great, and people ask what I'm up to, right? How about failure? It works the same way. I could just eat at McDonald's every day. Once won't kill me, but if I eat there day after day after day, watch the movie Super Size Me. It will tell you you're going to basically kill yourself, because it wasn't the one-time activity that created success or failure. It's a gradual progression of decisions. So in our lives, you can change the direction of where we're going, whether it's our relationships, whether it's in our health, or our ACN business. It will not kill my business today if I don't give out a magazine. It won't kill it today if I get out a DVD. In fact, I know on that graph that handing out a DVD today doesn't guarantee me anything. It just means I have a chance that somebody may be open-minded to an opportunity to have questions. I could even say, I'm not sure this is for you. Could you tell me what you think? And maybe you know somebody. I'd like your opinion about it. I know there's lots of scripts, lots of techniques, but the truth is, the more exposures to the possibility, the results will come automatically. All you have to do is double your rate of failure. In fact, I was impatient about that graph of success and failure. And I read a quote by the founder of IBM, Thomas J. Watson Sr., and he said, if you're impatient for your success, I'll tell you this. The formula for success is simple: double your rate of failure. I've given some of the best advice I could ever train you when I say keep a journal. That means a blank notebook, and every day you are now your boss. Write down how many people you talked to today, what happened, good, bad, or ugly. It doesn't matter. Write it down. And you keep track of your actions. See, everybody, whenever I go anywhere to train, whenever you go to teach people, you know where they're going to focus first? What are the actions? What do I have to do to become successful? How do I get customers? How do I share the opportunity? How do I build events? All important things, right? But see, actions are really not that difficult here. There's no perfect one way to do it, but it's all the same. We got to share an idea about the opportunity, and we got to share a service. Share a service, share an opportunity. Whether you use a DVD, you use this, a website, a one-on-one, I don't care which order you do it. Other people find one way that works better for them. I don't care what way you do it. See, I know if I share a good idea, a good service with enough people, someone's going to get involved. Some days I logged in my diary when I started ACN up to 60 phone calls in a day, no joke. And some people got frightened by that. But that's the truth. Now, you don't have to be me. I just was sick and tired of being broke, and I wanted success yesterday. You know, for a lot of people, you know, even just, 3 calls a day would be more than they're doing now. You know, so what is the key to success? Well, there is an evolution for all of us that we have to go through. What really mattered for me is I changed my thinking. You had to change your thinking. From a broke musician to where I am today was all about changing my thinking. My dad said, you got to have a positive attitude. And he was right, because positive attitude a winning attitude is very important. You need to have a great attitude. But see, I've learned something about my attitude, that sometimes it's fickle, One day it's good, another day it's not so good. Like the other day, I didn't feel like going to the gym to work out. I don't really like it that much. So if there's another thing to do, I would much rather do it. So I realized that some days I have a great attitude about working out, other days I have a bad attitude about it. And this could be true in your ACN business. Some days I feel good, I'm going out to share it. Other days I don't feel so good. The guy didn't even watch the video. He said he'd come to the meeting and didn't show up. So you got to watch attitude. What you should look at and analyze is your thinking, which is your personal belief system or your philosophies. See, your philosophy or your personal belief system, it represents who you really are at your core value. It's what your beliefs are. See, I believe success is a progressive realization of a worthy ideal. That's what I believe in residual income, not linear income, exchanging time for money. I believe in creating an asset so that you can have time and money. I believe in teaching people about network marketing in ACN so they could have a chance to conquer their financial issues so they can have freedom and time in their life. I believe in a positive philosophy. Now, how do you get the philosophies you really need in life? You know what? Many of you read novels. You know, you might like Stephen King or some author. But you know what I've realized is if you would just reprogram your own thinking, and as adults, it's the education we seek after we leave school that determines our future, really. So what if Jim Rohn, a great trainer and speaker, said, if you just read 10 pages of a good book every day, what would happen in your mind? 10 pages of Think and Grow Rich, or 10 pages of The Magic of Thinking Big by David Schwartz, or Listening to Taste by Earl Nightingale and Tony Robbins, and zillions of great people. See, what you got to realize is everything about success has already been written. Everything about how to be healthy is written. How to be successful in ACN, stop looking for magic dust. It's already written and recorded. You know what the difference is? Not that the information isn't working or works. The difference is us. We don't follow the information. We don't keep doing the things we're supposed to do. That's all there is to it. Little things. Does it make sense? I mean, hey, take a look at this video. Take a look at this DVD. Go to my website. Hey, check out, try my service. Come check my video phone out. I mean, really, you got to understand what's happening. Get rid of the emotion and start moving forward. Follow the actions of sharing a service, sharing an opportunity, and building for events. There's nothing more to it. So here's the problem. Why isn't everybody at the top? Because you stop taking the steps. For whatever reason, instead of going up, you decide not to do it. See, not sharing the DVD today won't kill my business today, just like eating a Big Mac won't give me a heart attack today. But if I knew the next Big Mac was going to give me a heart attack, I wouldn't eat it. See, in our business, you got to keep doing simple activities and understand you're winning in the moment that someone challenges you or doesn't decide to join and you make another step and another call. That's when you empower yourself to go beyond average and you can go to fortune. So what are the simple actions? You make a contact list. You pique interest. You ask people, are you interested in extra money? Or I've started a new business and I'm helping to expand it globally. Do you know anybody? See, we learn stories are important to our business. That's why the magazine is filled with real-life European success stories. You know, whether it's Francoise Monfray, who's got an amazing story, a great friend of mine, wanted nothing to do with network marketing, had gone into travel, was an entrepreneur, did a lot of different things, you know, was busy being a mother, and yet she looked at this business, was open-minded because of our friendship, and boom, she built an army, and just, you know, a phenomenal story for all of us in the industry. There's so many stories that help us to realize that our story is waiting to be written in that magazine. For most of us, the most important reason we have that magazine is so that we can picture ourselves in it. Why not you? I was a broke musician who simply said, hey, could I get your opinion on this? Take a look at it. And I dealt with the issues when people said it wouldn't work. I learned to use support from my team. Whether it was my upline, I asked for help. My sidelines, my success line many times helped me. You know, three-way calls, meetings, websites, conference calls, magazines, DVDs, CD-ROMs, again, help us to tell the story. Now, there's so much opportunity here with ACN. It's to me, knowing what's happening with VoIP, knowing what's happening with the wireless program, it's like, if I could just get you to imagine this, the automobile is not invented yet. But we're going to invent it, and it's coming out this summer. This is a private meeting. You only know about it. Most of us if we were smart, we'd want to have as many gas stations ready to go, petrol stations as possible, right? You don't even want to sell cars because that's one time. What you want to do, right, is sell the fuel. See, by setting up the ACN distribution network, spreading the news, it's like you understand that timing. I'm telling you, every hour today leading toward the launch is going to pay off either 10 hours of results or it's costing you 10 hours of results. That's timing. I never worked so hard as when we were here pioneering ACN in Europe. But let me tell you, it's easier now. See, back then there were no meetings, no infrastructure, no distributor-based infrastructure where we can support our independent networks. But it's so different today, it's powerful. Now I'm going to leave you with a few steps to succeed in the business. And the point of these steps is so that you understand how to illustrate to someone the power of network marketing. If there's anything I've done well in my career in network marketing, is I teach network marketing for a living. That's what I do. I happen to market ACN, represent ACN. It's the best company in the industry, bar none. But I believe that my success is that I educate people of why network marketing is so powerful. And so the key is you focus in our business on helping 3 people to find 3 people. And step 1 is you've got to show the plan. I don't just show 2 people, helping 2, 4, 8, 6, 32, you can see the numbers. But what I focus on is going one step further, and I show training 3 people to get 3 people. So you would have, on the 7th level, you're showing 128 people on a 2x2 model, or 2,187 on a 3x3. So since now, with our new compensation plan, focusing to build 3 lines of ETTs to become an ETL, 3 lines of 200 customer points to become a TC, 3 TC legs to become an RVP 3 star, and then move you to 3 more lines. You can go right past RVP 4, you can go right to SVP with 6 lines. If you notice, the pay plan has the biggest percentage down the 7th level, right? That's why, because we hope that's our biggest level. How can I help you to do that? Because you can't control what happens deep in your organization. I can't either, but I can train my first line and work with my second line effectively, and you have to do the same. So the step 2 is find the right partners. Show the plan to everyone and stop trying to convince them. We're not looking to convince people. We're looking for people that want an opportunity. The right person is someone who's also going to commit to this business plan of helping 3 people to get 3 people. Here's what I find. A lot of people sponsor, and they stop. What you're going to do is sponsor and then work with them so they get 3, and then we can duplicate. So what we're going to do is we're going to make an agreement to commit to helping the partners accomplish the following. Help 3 people to get 3 people. If I got 1 with 2, 1 with 1, and 1 with 3, then I'm going to work with you 2 to help you fill in your gaps, because I want to push that 3 to 9. See, whether it takes a week, a month, or a year, it's a commitment that must be kept. Okay? That's the agreement. For example, let me show you the next slide if we move on. I want to show you the block we're trying to build. See, I'm trying to focus on a 3x9 structure, because if everybody keeps their word duplicating, again, it's a concept, we push it down. Next button. See, it pushes it again, and you push it again, and it goes down, and down, down. Next thing you know, you've filled 7 levels. So that's the kind of possibilities that exist from building a 3x9 structure. But the key is you've got to do it now. You've got to understand the concept of duplication. You've got to understand the magnitude of the rewards if we can just work powerfully to drive 3x3, and using just a step-by-step mentality, knowing in advance the results. Even though you don't see it in the moment, you got to know the results are there if you trust the process. Share an idea, share a service. Share an idea, share a service. But you got to do it now. You can't procrastinate. It really is a key thing that you employ yourself and you keep that journal. That keeps you accountable to your goals and accountable to you about your actions. If you put in the hours, the results will eventually follow. If you struggle, ask for coaching help from your upline support team. If you're successful, then teach us what you're doing, because it's all the same idea. See, there's a law of average in place. If you share a good idea with a good service with enough people, someone's going to say yes. True or not true? It's true, right? Easy to do this business? Sure. Guess what? It's also easy not to do. That's the unfortunate part. For a lot of people, that's why they stop. They're just not comfortable to keep moving forward. See, it's easy business to hand out and show a video or a DVD or go to my website or to make a one-on-one presentation. But it's not easy the next day if someone didn't see it and say, hey, that's great, sign me up. So we have these kind of emotional roller coaster. But that's why we have the support team. That's why you can look around and realize thousands of other people have figured it out. Why not you? If a long-haired rock and roll musician can figure it out and do the same simple activity, no different than I'm trying to get you to do the same, then why can't you have the same opportunity, the same success? See, at the end of the day, success really is a choice. One day you got to realize you got to leave your excuses, your baggage, your complaints and your problems back there, because there are always going to be plenty of them. And you got to look in the mirror and say, you know what? It's my life. What am I going to do about it? Thank you very much. I'll see you all at the top. Bye-bye, everybody. Thank you. Thank you.